So this topic is one that most of us shun from, most of us don't want to discuss, most of us don't want to address, because of course it involves so many people, and if one is a single mother, they are not going to be talking about themselves only. They've got the children, they've got the ex-partner involved. So in most cases, it's like, Before we go very far, I want to greet you. I hope everyone is fine. I hope you're doing well. That quotation is said there that prayer is one which is said in Mass. Every time there's a Eucharist, is Mass throughout the whole world. Every hour of the 24 hours, that prayer is said about deliver us, Lord, from every evil and keep us free of anxiety. So as I was watching or listened to someone, there's a sermon which was being preached and that was brought up. It is a prayer prayed in the Mass, but it's also brought up in the sermon. It just brought me to thinking about this topic of single parenthood, single motherhood. Yeah, but at the moment it's about single motherhood and then how it's going to relate, as we go along in the conversation. So back to the original introduction, what I was trying to say, the single mothers or this topic, one cannot talk about it in isolation. There's also the other issue of these children who are brought up in fatherless homes and the consequences of what happens. And maybe the third issue I could say now, and of course, this is just a discussion we can have later, is the fact that some of our communities, being a single mother is still frowned upon, and I am a lived experience. So when I speak from a lived experience. I see why they frown upon it, and I see why why in the past it used to be maybe that way, because if you see what's happening now, you can tell that the trend is not the best, because really there's heartbreak being left behind for the children and in future for the fathers. The way that it used to be dealt with in the past, I don't agree with it either. They used to dehumanize the mother and the child, and the man would go scot-free. But I listened to someone recently, and that bit came up of the sermon that you can see. And when it came up, it really brought up a lot of, things up in the front. One of them was a gentleman that, I had gone to, that I came to know. And this gentleman was living in a bedsit by himself. The place was so dirty. He didn't have any food. He didn't have any heating. He really was not in a good state, and he was abusing alcohol and other substances. Listening to his story, it transpired that he was once married, had a family, had a very good, high-paying job, doing very well. But what happened is there was infidelity. Doing some of the business trips, there was some infidelity. The wife found out. She went for divorce. She left. She left with the house and the children. This gentleman tried to bring themselves up again, but eventually the relationship that with the mistress also broke down, and he was left there on his own. So fast forward years later, gentleman is now really living in a condition. When you see where he's living, I was like, oh my goodness, and it just really touched my heart. I'm like, what can we do to help? And once he was, once the shame went off, once the resistance of, I don't want to know you, the anger, once all that, the boundaries were broken and we sat down and spoke, he opened up. And one of the things he had was regret. I regret the infidelity. I regret not keeping in touch with my children. I regret the pride. He regretted so much. Bless him. Children didn't want to know. Even when you tried to get in touch, they didn't want to know. The story is, he, of course, like I said, they left and he stayed there by himself. I have not spoken to the children or the wife, but the story I have is from the gentleman who is, he's in a sorry state. And I empathize. I feel like, oh, great, bless. And I feel sorry for quite a few of these because there are so many of them. Statistically, when you walk around in some of the places we go, you think, oh, this is almost the same story. Most of them, not most of them, but quite a few of them. Marriage breakdowns, partners have gone, no children. And very rare do I find mothers like that. Very rare. They are there, but very rare. And most mothers I've found who are like that have had mental health issues. But very rare, it's mostly men. So it got me to think, some of these men who leave their families for whatever reason, it is better that they keep in touch with the children on some level. There are instances where the mom will refuse, I don't want you to speak it, because maybe they are still angry, they are hurting, all those emotions are there, and they refuse the man to speak to their children. They are there. And some of those emotions are justified emotions, let's be honest with you, because if the person has been abusive towards the mother and the child, you don't put the child in that situation again. If the person has been emotionally abusive or they're trying to break the spirit of the child, you don't put the child again in that environment. So some mothers will go out there to protect the children. But where that is not the case, where there's a bit of amicability, people can talk, there's communion, and the mother is opening the door, come and see your children, and men, oh, go, I don't want to say them, maybe you left. And in Machiga they say, omwana na drahari nyina, and I think they have it in Baganda as well. But in a way, it's like the father's love for a child is dependent on the mother. I used to say no until I saw what it is. And I'm like, oh, really? Because, like, within my family, I don't see that. The men in my family love their children. They'll go to any length for their children. And I'm like, yes, do it, please do it, But when I look at these cases, these people, these cases, these individuals, and they are sad like that, and you think you could have done better. Mind you, some of us women can be horrible as well. Let us be honest. Men can be wicked, men can be mean, men can be hurtful, but so can the women. You find a man who is willing to make a home. They are doing everything to make the home, but the women are hell-bent on breaking that home. They don't want to do anything. So eventually maybe the man says, you know what, I'm done, I'm going. And of course, maybe if they go and the woman still loves them, the woman will use the children maybe to get at the man in some cases. And I want us honestly to discuss, to see what can we do, what can we help with the younger ones. We may be, some of us, I don't know about you, no more children, and this is the Virgin Mary's child. Miracle child. So some of us, our ages have really gone, we are grandmothers. But the young ones who are remaining. And that's one of the things that communities in the past used to be good, because we used to live in the same in the communities where such things would be dealt with. So, for example, if there was infidelity will be there, but in the communities that I'm thinking about, these men will be allowed to marry more than one wife. A quick digression. At times, fathers and mothers look after children, and children abandon their parents in older age, and they don't look after them. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because the father has looked after you, the mom has looked after you, the child is going to be there to look after you. And I'm not talking about materially, I'm talking about also things like monitoring and being there, supporting your mother in old age. As it says in the Bible, look after your parents in old age. So that's a disclaimer, and that's what I wanted to, a digression. But back to the topic. And of course, we know even up to now, there are some cultures and religions which allow people to marry more than one wife. And so in a way, these children will have a father there. One day somebody told me that just because there's a father in the house, the mother is not a single mother. I don't know if I'm making sense. That people can be single parents even when there's a partner in the house. So even some of these people have got multiple, not multiple, in polygamous relationship. It could be the same. It could be the case. Somebody who is in a single relationship, like married to one person and everything, could easily be a single mother in that home. She's doing everything, and the man comes up and does not do anything. He's just there, like a visitor, or just there as just a figure. That's it. Listen, I'm not saying that my sisters who are in those groups are any worse or any better than them. No, I'm not. But I think there's more likelihood that this man will have somebody to be with him or support him when he's old or when he's in the state of the gentleman that I went to visit. I am not advocating for polygamous relationships because personally I wouldn't want it. There are some people it works for them, both men and women. I wouldn't want it to. It doesn't work for me. It wouldn't work for me. It's unfortunate that then it ends up being that maybe because I don't want that polygamous relationship, I've ended up where I am as a single parent. That's one of the cases. So another point is that there's where these relationships have got to break down. There is no way that it can be saved. The atmosphere in the home is so toxic, and I think and I believe that is my view, and honestly I cannot change it at the moment unless something, I don't know, maybe it's better for me that the home is not toxic for the children. So if there's a home which is toxic because of two parents who don't get on well, I think it's better that the children live with one partner. But let us keep communication lines open where we cannot talk to each other. Maybe, this partner, husband, the wife and husband can't talk. Let us bring in the community to help us communicate for the sake of these children. So if one is in a family which blessed enough to be in a family which can do that, it's good. Some of us haven't been in such families, so it has been unfortunate. But it doesn't mean that the system, the culture should continue. It can break. So even where it hasn't worked in the past, let us see what worked, keep it. What didn't work, we leave it. But I know for sure, culturally, if you have got elders and you sit together from both sides of the family, it works. And that is why you see, Mama Karangambira, Mama used to tell me, it is better not kwefumbiza like Baganda, seka kweshweza. Like when you go there, just like that. So when things happen, it becomes sometimes difficult to go and tell, Mom, this has happened. Who told you to go there? Some people, they will tell you. But at least if you've got families, they know each other, it becomes easier. It doesn't matter where they come from, let the families meet each other. When we are abroad, it's difficult to have those family meetups, but there will definitely be an elder of the community who can at least support, and you meet up to know the person. For example, if somebody comes from Cameroon or come from Uganda, you meet Cameroonian elders, and they then become the support system that we look for the sake of our children. So, back to that topic. I keep digressing, but I think it's part of it. This is not written down. It is just like, after seeing this, I'm like, oh. So where are some of these gentlemen, especially those who are like from the diaspora, they have the families like back home and the other families here, whichever, maybe, the first family is back home and the second marriage is here, or the other way around, vice versa, whichever way. The family that the man is not living with, in most cases, if it's here, these children here really become aggrieved, because you find that the gentleman here or the man here is maybe sending all the money back home, back home, back home. Rightly so, the children need to be looked after. They did not make an application form. Hey, give back to me. No. Mom and dad decided, man and woman decide, and the baby comes. And the baby is not, once the baby is here, it cannot be undone. So they have to be looked after. But in the process, some of there's like what there's collateral damage. Children suffer. And in the end, you find that if the children who are being looked after are not very wise, or are not very, or they don't, end up with good jobs, this man is going to end up struggling, like this one here, living by himself with no help. Even if you want to go maybe back abroad, you can't, because you have nowhere to stay. Yeah. So, and I know this is a very sensitive topic, because people are going to say, oh, and from both sides of the family, who do you think you are? You're here judging. Honestly, I'm not judging anybody. It's just a topic I want to put out here, because it is there in the background, brewing slowly by slowly. Because some of them, men will think, oh, women, when they come abroad, they chase us away because they want houses, they want money for the children. And this money, by the way, is a myth. There's not a lot of money. Total myth. Then of course, the women will say, oh, these men are toxic, they humanize us, they leave us, they don't want to pay rent. And it is true. It is true for these men. Honestly, some of them, they don't want to do anything because they have money to be sent back home. But on our bit, we have to make sure that we will look up, we work and care for these children well. Not that they should be our insurance or our retirement plan. No, but at least they'll be there for us. Like in cases here, somebody needs just an advocate. If the child has no money, it's okay. It's just an advocate, a voice. Because if there's no voice, things will be done to your mom, things will be done to your dad. But if these children did not, if one neglected these children in their early age, they will have no relationship with this man. And that's why I find that these men are here like this in beds. It's really struggling. And some of them actually have not even had relationship with the other families, like abroad. Because I know somebody who said, oh, the other children are lucky because dad is always with them. He only comes twice a year. And because like some people who have those families, they can, how many times can you go on holiday? 30 days they give us, if you're lucky. If you want, you can, that's 4 weeks, the most 5 weeks. You can't take 30 days twice a year if you're in a permanent position, unless you're contract or agency job. Most of people don't. So if you're going to have 2 families, they're only going to be seeing you once a year. Like I say, at most twice a year, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. But now remember that the time that your dad has off, the 2 weeks you have off, you're not spending them with the children here. These children are going on holidays with their mom only. So each of your holiday, you're with the other family. These children go with their mom everywhere. Everything is their mom. So when are you going to spend that holiday with these children here, when you're always spending it with the family abroad? So what relationship is going to be held with these children? It's going to be a remote relationship, telephone relationship, I call them. And these partners, also some of them who try to have infidelity here, it becomes difficult, because you're going to have infidelity with somebody who needs to pay rent. And if you're not working a high-paying job, or if you don't have a lot of money, how are you going to manage those 2 homes here in the UK? You have got, let me say there's leave alone mortgage. Let me say there's a rent. You have to pay rent here, you have to pay rent there. people end up getting high blood pressure. Somebody was getting high blood pressure because he was just juggling two homes and he couldn't make it. But eventually one suffers anyway. The partner who, if there's those two, in those two relationships, the partner who was more, not mouthy. Yeah, the word is mouthy. Who couldn't take it, lost. The other one who had actually taken she was the second one. She even never had children. She took the man because this one here would come. And actually, when you think about it, the other one didn't even have children. So this man would go there and have his life. But here, you're coming to your children. You have to cook. You have to bathe. You have to do this. And the man is just sitting there. It becomes difficult, especially in the UK. It is difficult because there is no other support system. By the way, I found out, and again, this is not written, it is just a conversation, and you can come in as well. But let us be mindful, please. Let us be mindful. Let us not be abusive. Let us not be negative. Let us be respectful. You can. In the comment section, please. I noticed that in Uganda, that's the only one I know, single mothers, they are there, highly educated, highly paid, doing very well. They are doing very well with their children. And I know it's a different culture because somebody becomes a single mother and the man stays, the man still makes all those decisions, even if the person is like a second wife or like is cheating. The man is cheating on the wife with this woman, whereas here it becomes difficult. It's different, and I think it's because of the lifestyle. The lifestyle here is so hard. Everything is counted for. If you have a car, MOT, taxes, petrol, pick and drop, council tax, service charge. Whereas in Uganda, this man is going to put this girl, this wife, in a home. They're going to build it. There's no rent. Some of them, there's no even water. Some of them, there's even no electricity bill. But even if they are there, for some reason, they manage. You see a man there having four. I have one in my neighborhood where we lived. He had 4 wives. He was so rich. He does his business. Guess what? Each wife had built them a storage house and he made them uniform. But he was evidently there. A very short man, very handsome but short. And I don't know why I'm saying it, but because when you see him, you don't even think that he has these wives, and these wives are like tall and big. And the first time I saw him, I thought he was a very young boy, but he doesn't. It's a short man. He doesn't look his age. He is young still. But he doesn't look his age. We think he's about 20 something, and he's in his mid 30s. Very handsome, looking very well, but with these tall, big women. So what is done for him? He's with each wife. He's built them the same house. Beautiful, beautiful place. And the business he does, he's done the same business for them. So the first wife is in the same business somewhere. Second wife, same business somewhere. Third, same business somewhere. Fourth, same business somewhere. So within a week, he knows how to do it. Anyway, it's not a laughing matter, but it's something that I just thought about, and I told you this is not written down. It's something that really was coming to my head after seeing this gentleman. He really, really got me, because sometimes I look at these men and I don't relate to them. I'm like, oh, this man. But then I've got brothers, and I'm like, oh, this could be my brother, because this gentleman who's struggling there could be my brother. He could be. So I'm like, no. I'm like, please, let's stop this. Let us stop this. I know that some of the men can be mean. You're talking to somebody who's gone through a lived experience. But when I look at them and they turn the coin, I'm like, oh, this could be my brother. This could be my relative. Some humanity comes in me. Yeah, so that's it. That's where I'm coming from. But then on the other hand, when I see these children suffering and see the side effects of children who are fatherless, and I'm like, oh God, I get this, yeah, but yeah, but like somebody said, you can't give what you don't have. Like some of these men, some of us, we don't have some of those skills because they are never given. So yeah, however, we have a choice. We know what good and bad is. So we have a choice. Even if you don't have it, go and look for it. If you're hungry, go and eat. If you're thirsty, drink water. If you're tired, lay in the bed and sleep. So I don't understand why we say, oh, we started giving excuses. Oh, they were never given this information. They didn't grow up with it. But if you don't have that information, you go and look for it. You go and look for it, and look after these children, And within the UK, there's even laws. If maybe somebody's refusing to see the child, take them to court. If you really, really love somebody, take them to court. Because nobody should. It's like somebody said, oh, if the man is not paying any money for the child, take this child support. It's like you're forcing somebody to love their child, because I'm thinking myself personally, if it was me and somebody was taking my children away, I would go at any length to bring those children back. I would fight tooth and nail for the children so I don't lose my children. But others give up because they have got other children, they have got other options. Yeah. And I think personally, if I'm with a man who has got children, I'll be encouraging them. Look after your children. I know that the other partner may not like it, but I would encourage them. Look after your children. You don't have to bring them to me because in some cases I wouldn't like my children to go to some other woman's place. No, but I would encourage them. Give money. And I know a friend, as I wrap up, I know a friend, she was married and the marriage broke down. So she got another relationship and that broke down as well. But the first husband that she had looked after these two children as if they were his. You would never know the difference. That is what a man is. Just care for the child as you, because they have your name, care for them. And you never know who in the end will support. It may not be your blood relative, but one of these children you've looked after. Yeah, that's my bit. Okay, in the comment section, let me know. Are you a single parent? Do you have children? Do you get on well with your partner? Are you a single mom? Are you struggling? How are the children managing? Can we come back and talk about children from single parent homes? Are you a child from a single parent home? How has that impacted you? Let's talk. Let's come back and discuss, and then maybe let's make into a session that can help others in future. And I know that this is not planned. I'm not giving therapy. It's just something that came to my mind. I'm like, let me talk about it, because we normally don't talk about this a lot. Is there anything else we need to talk about in terms of single parenthood? And both men and women, don't throw stones. Let us be mindful. Let us be respectful. Yeah, in terms of our comments. That's it. Take care. Blessings. Everybody, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.